Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. This is episode 14, and we've got a great show for you tonight. Shortly, I'll be joined by Hemi Te Awhitu, and he'll be talking to us about the 26th, the Helicopter Line Queenstown Classic, which is coming up this weekend. We're also going to go through some of the up-and-coming events, of which there seems to be hundreds. So yeah, mark your calendars for that. And also, I need your help at the end, which we'll get to very shortly. But first up is, as ever, is the hot scores for the last week. And starting, as ever, down south, Ethan Stout with 14 under par at Invercargill. Putting in the hot round, beating out his brother and Jaden Black, who also put in solid performances at 10 under. Across to Chingford and in the lovely city of Dunedin, you've got Jacob Colley and Cameron Mackey shooting 7 under par. They were difficult to beat this week. In Queenstown Gardens, which is where the tournament this weekend is going to be played, we had Roberts Crastins and Tom Strawbridge both shooting 13 down. They'll be hoping to take some of that form into the weekend's activity. And at Tucker Beach, Div went 4 over par. Across at Ely Point, Ben Tucker and Gus Van Gisteren with 1 under. And at Lismore, Ryan Cambridge for the second week in a row shoots 12 down. It's the Lord and Ladies of Lismore next weekend after this one, sorry. And he'll be hoping to take some of that form into that event. Ashton Clark and Jaden were on form this week at Jelly Park, shooting 10 down. And it's Willie Tarasana on his home turf of Queen's Park Reserve with 6 under par. Julian Stewart shoots a 4 under at Brooker Ave this week, and up at the Capital you had 2 very hot scores. Dylan Johnson and Carson Boone both hitting 6 under par. Over at Petone, it's Jacques Dewal. He seems to live at that course. It's 3 under par from him. And at Harcourt Park, 2 incredible scores at highs are just gone. Carson Boone and Justin Workman both shooting 8 under par. I was on the card with Justin at the weekend, and it was a pleasure to watch that come through. Yeah, incredible score. Over at Linklater in Palmerston North, you had Galal Brizzle and Joel Simpson shooting 3 down. And at Inglewood, Justin Workman is at it again with 6 under par at Inglewood in New Plymouth. Over at McLaren in Tauranga, you've got Clint Rehas shooting 1 over par. And at Rosedale, Steve Jessup has been out at the course quite a lot this week. He's shooting 3 of the best rounds this week, and his best of those was 5 under par. So well done to Steve. At the Woodhill Red Tee, it's Josh Love Parrota who shoots +1. Excellent. So well done to everybody with those hot scores. They've been going very well recently, and some fantastic, even some course record or 2021 course records coming in, which is great to see. So now I'm going to introduce my guest for today is Hemi Te Awhitu, who's the tournament director for the 26th, the Helicopter Line Queenstown Classic. And so, Hemi, good evening.
Kia ora, everybody.
How's it going? You okay?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, ramping up for the tournament this coming weekend. So all our preparations seem to be going pretty smoothly. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I saw several posts going out earlier on this evening. Do you want to just talk about those?
Yeah, so we just had our online player meeting. All the details, bit of housekeeping, bit of course rules, just a breakdown hole by hole of all the hazards. And I posted up a course map of the whole gardens and for everybody to see. So hopefully there's enough information for everybody. Yeah, it was certainly quite a lot came through. So if you're playing this weekend, make sure you read all those through carefully. Now this is the 26th of this tournament. That's right.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the tournament and your involvement. You've been playing in it for a few years.
So my very first tournament was the Queenstown Classic. That was back in 2011. But the Queenstown Classic, Helicopter Line Queenstown Classic, is the longest running tournament in a permanent location in New Zealand, being the Gardens, and the longest running tournament second to the Nationals. And it was originally directed by James Smithers, who's a long-time resident of Queenstown. He was the tournament director for quite a few years, 21 years he was, and he decided to relocate up to Nelson, where Paul Child took over the directorship for a few years, and I've picked it up this year. Originally I was the tournament director for the Tucker Beach Rush, but I put my hand to take over the Classic.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. How has it changed in the 10 years that you've been playing it?
Well, for anybody who has played the Classic pre-2017, they've noticed that the biggest change is that originally the tournament was played in conjunction with the Paradise Plates. Queenstown Club and James Smithers used to host the Paradise Plates, and those two tournaments were run together over one weekend. So the tournament was 2 rounds of 18 holes on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday everybody would go up to Paradise and play the Paradise Plates tournament. So that would be the biggest change. So in 2017 we separated the two tournaments, and they became standalone tournaments there, where we would play a full 4 rounds in the Queenstown Gardens. So yeah, that's the biggest change. Other changes, obviously, the course. Over the years, the course has had many changes, different variations. But that's just the way we've gone down in Queenstown here. We've evolved with the demands of all the users of the park. To quote a legend of the game in New Zealand, we've had to bend with the wind in terms of evolving the course, rather than stand up against it. So we've adapted the course to keep things safe. Always thinking about the flora and fauna and other users of the area.
Yeah, so it's quite a wooded area naturally. The course location.
Yeah, so we have 6 holes that are out in the open, and then the remaining 12 holes are in the trees. So it's a relatively short. It's always been known as a short course, but it's fairly technical. So it doesn't. You don't need to have a big arm to play in the tournament, but you definitely need a technical game.
Yeah, and it's you'd think with the trees there being relatively sheltered, but expecting some breeze off the lake.
Well, yeah, like you said, the course is right next to Lake Whakatipu there, and quite often the wind does come howling off the lake, and I think we might have a bit of that coming this weekend. Yeah,
I'm having a look at the forecast, and it does look like it's. I think changeable is probably a good word to describe it.
Having the wind, it's a bit of a leveler, so you need to bring your stable discs. Yeah,
I think if you left them behind at Christchurch, then you probably need to take them down to Queenstown. That's certainly the advice.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Good stuff. And you've got the tournament sold out in like no time at all, didn't it? I mean, blink and you miss it kind of thing.
So we're just totally overwhelmed with how fast we sold out. It was like 24 hours. Originally we had maxed out at 72 people, which was 4 people per card, but straight away we had like 30 people on the wait list.
Wow.
So we thought, look, how can we get more people to play this tournament? So we decided to open up another 18 spots to make it 5 people per card. So now we really are maxed out at 90, and we've still got people on the wait list, so you never know what might happen over the next day or two. You still might get in, so
But fantastic to see the uptake, and we had I mentioned it briefly last week that the tournaments are selling out quickly, and as a New Zealand group or a community, we need to make sure that we can keep up with the demand of tournaments. But as a tournament director, it must be quite. What's the right word?
Well, I mean, it's quite humbling that people want to come and play your tournament. And,
absolutely. And I think that the Classic, because it's been going on so long.
It's always been one of the more popular events on the tour. From as long as I've been playing it, it's always been close to max. People just want to play it. We always have great prizes, which is one thing that attracts people. And yeah, this year is no different. We're going to have some great prizes for people who are skilled enough to win them.
Excellent. So we've had a question from one of the viewers, which leads me into my next question for you. How do you see your chances of defending your title, especially now that your team manager is not playing?
Thanks very much, Iran, for stepping down. It's really given the rest of us a real chance of taking the title. Yeah, obviously, for those of you who were playing at the Pete Crowther Memorial, you would have heard in the prize giving that just sort of coming off, I'm at the tail end of a moderate back injury, so that sort of hampered my preparations a little bit. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I've still managed to get down to the course to have some practice time, mm-hmm. And yeah, for sure, I'll be definitely doing my best to defend my title.
I mean, you've got some stiff competition. I mean, there's some great disc golfers down there in Queenstown, right? Mikey Yu, Ben Wheellake, Roberts Craston's all come to mind, and there's others that I haven't mentioned. So it's going to be quite a tight fight, I would have thought.
Yep, those guys are all playing well. Obviously, Mikey Yu is just on fire at the moment. He's really found some form at the moment. But there's a handful of guys in the Queenstown club that could take it out. Mm-hmm. There's also guys from Wanaka, Christchurch, and Invercargill. They're all good enough to win this tournament. Like I said, you don't need a big arm. It's your technical aspect of the game that you really need to be refining. But anybody can have a really good round at the Gardens, but you need to do that times 4.
Yeah, and if you can putt in the wind, then you're probably going to have a good weekend, eh?
For sure. Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So you've got plenty of people supporting the event. There's loads of people on that board behind you. Do you want to highlight some of the big ones?
Yeah. So obviously the Helicopter Line, they've been our title sponsor for 24 years. Wow. They're just fantastic supporters of Queenstown disc golf and ultimately disc golf in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. They've given us or donated to us over $30,000 in prizes over the years. So that's just been fantastic. That and Small Planet Disc Sports, they're our local, our preferred disc provider, and they always take care of us at our tournaments as well. You can see the names behind me. Smith's Craft Beer House. It's another one. We'll be all, whoever wants to partake, will be heading up to Smith's on the Saturday night to have some fantastic craft beers and a meal. But just the businesses around town just really get behind us. And it's just great.
Excellent. Well, if you're playing in Queenstown this weekend, then very best of luck, and make sure you go and visit the people who are supporting the event as well. Excellent. Hemi, thanks so much for joining. Anything else you want to say to people before this weekend?
No. I just think if you get down here sort of tomorrow-ish, then get a good amount of time on the course. Start learning the course. I'll be out there from mid-morning, setting up, putting the OB lines out. Come over and say hi, and good luck to everybody. I look forward to seeing you. Excellent.
And so look, we'll be watching the scores come in on the PDGA Live app. Presumably that's being used for tracking the scores.
That's correct. Yeah, Roberts Craston's, he's our scoring official and our scoring wizard, so he'll be taking care of all the scoring. But the scoring details are all there in the online player meeting for you.
Fantastic. So that will be something for us who can't be there to follow. And very best of luck to everybody playing. Hemi, thank you so much for joining us this week. Very best of luck organising the tournament. I hope it goes well. I'll be following it, and it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks very much, mate. Ka kite anō.
See you next time. Hemi Te Awhitu there, so the tournament director of the 26th, the Helicopter Line Queenstown Classic. Now, there's plenty of tournaments going on. We were speaking a little bit about this last week. I'll go through the ones that are coming up in the next 5 weeks, and I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've counted 9 events that are going up and down the country in the next 5 weeks alone, right? And these are either sanctioned events or tournaments that have been open through Actually, there's 10. There's one more. So this weekend we've got the Queenstown Classic, the helicopter line Queenstown Classic down in Queenstown, which you can follow. And if you're playing, very best of luck. We've got the King Country Classic also taking part this weekend. So if you can't make it down to Queenstown and you're going to go to that tournament, brilliant. That's a New Zealand Disc Golf Tour event. I don't think there's any PDGA scoring. I don't think it's a sanctioned event, but it's going to be very, very hard fought from lots of people in North Ireland. And I know there's plenty of people from Wellington going up for that event. So very best of luck to all of those. The weekend after, on the 1st of May, is Hoscar in Wellington. So if you're in the capital next Saturday, then come and join us at Petone for 2 rounds in the morning. We'll be doing the draw next week, actually. We'll be spinning the wheel to see what the theme round there is going to be. On the Sunday, the 2nd of May, is West Side of Woodville. So that's Ryan Kitto, who's very kindly opened up his own personal course to a few lucky disc golfers. I think there's about 30 odd people heading to Woodville to play in that event. And on the same weekend is the Lords and Ladies of Lismore, which is sold out. So if you're looking to get to that, then get on the waiting list and see if you can get a spot. On the 8th of May is the Women's Global event. This is taking place in Auckland and in Wellington. And in a few weeks' time, we'll have Charlotte Dunkley and Paula Wilson on the show to talk through previewing those events. There's still space in both events, although we have over 50 ladies signed up across both events, playing sanctioned disc golf all on the same day. There's going to be some records broken that day, I'll tell you. So if you want to play if you're in Auckland, then get in contact with Charlotte. If you're in Wellington, get in contact with Paula. On the same weekend is the Brook Park Brave, which is being run by Simon Feasey out of Te Awhitu. So if you can't get to the Women's Global event, then make sure that you're at that event. And on the 15th of May, you probably have seen this, Topor kicks off, and we'll be hoping to get somebody on the show actually to talk a little bit more about that in the coming weeks. That's on the 15th and 16th of May. And then on the 28th of May is Timaru. So if you can get down to Timaru, then do that. And on the 29th of May is an event in the Wairarapa in a new course at Henley Lake. The registration for that opens next week, actually on the 29th. Talking of registrations opening, Wahitapu registration opens this 27th of April. To the 27th of April, by my reckoning, is a Tuesday night. It's next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Set your alarms because that one's going to go quick. If you want to go and play the Wahitapu next November, then make sure you get signed up for that. So many events going on. Try and get to one, many, or some of those at least. Because yeah, it's a rammed schedule, and a lot of those events, if not all, are going to be sold out. Finally, is a cry for help from us actually at Sweet Chain Live. I'm after your feedback on the show. We've been doing this for about 14 weeks now, which is about 3 months, and so it's about time we checked in with you, the audience, and to see how it is that we're doing. I'll be sending out a survey via a Facebook feed and also an email coming up, which I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the start time, the day we run it, the format of the show? What could we add in? What really gets on your wick? Oh, I want to know everything that you feel. It's completely anonymous, so be as honest, as brutal, or as kind as you would like. But very much appreciate all of your help in making this show better for you. That's it for us for this week. Next week, we will be reviewing the Queenstown Classic and the King Country Classic to see who was doing well. We'll have your hot scores. We'll have special guests. Until then, take it easy.